learn how to recharge. Jason Walker reporting.
President Trump and members of his newly created Board of Peace are pledging $5 billion toward rebuilding war-ravaged Gaza. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
All right. 2:34.
It's time for Middleboro Matters on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. Hosted by Joey Cresco. Call in at 508-822-1106. And now, here is Joey Cresco with Middleboro Matters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro Matters. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 if you want to call in and talk about what is on your mind this morning. It is President's Day, so in recognition of President's Day, I got the C-SPAN presidential list, and it's an interesting list. It's the 2021 version of the list. The 2025 version has not been released yet. I don't know what's taking them so long. Come on, C-SPAN. You're late. But it hasn't been released yet. It will be released probably soon, I'm guessing, there. It hasn't been no announcement of a date as to when it would be released, but it was supposed to be released last year, sometime last year, and it wasn't, as far as I can see. But I do have information on the 2021 list, so it's a little outdated, but it's a missing one president. But I had the list for you. So in recognition of that, of President's Day, we're going to talk about the list. We'll go through all of the presidents, as YouGov didn't seem like it was necessary. They thought that it wasn't necessary to go through all the presidents. Well, for me, it kind of is. And I will be talking about all of them here. And C-SPAN is usually a pretty good network, in my opinion. They are a news network that I think doesn't, lean more towards one side than the other. I think they are very good with staying in the middle, and I think that's important for sure. So this list is by historians. So historians, they had their biases. So some of the presidents on here, that's coming from whoever has say in this list. So we're gonna go through the list, and there's 45 presidents here. Again, no Joe Biden. So Joe Biden's not on this list, as this is the 2021 list. So there's 45 presidents here. We'll start from 45 to 45 all the way up to 1. The scores as well, we'll add the scores. Why not? We're not going to go over the overall rankings when it comes to previous lists. This list, they've done this since 2000. So you can go on C-SPAN's website and look for that as well. We're not going to go over the overall rankings, but we'll do the scores as well. With 227 points, number 45, James Buchanan. Of course. James Buchanan is 45, of course. That is to be expected. James Buchanan is considered the worst president by a lot of historians, and served at a very, very tough time for this nation immediately in the Civil War era, just post that. So, yeah, very, very tough just before that. as well. And the two presidents that were on the bottom of the list, James Buchanan and Andrew Johnson, or presidents just before Abraham Lincoln and just before and after the Civil War. So both considered very, very poor presidents and at a very, very tough time for this nation. But James Buchanan is 227 points. He is 45th on this list. Or actually, it says 45 on this list. 44 on this list. So there's 44 names here, not 45. I apologize. Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson, again, as I mentioned, followed, I believe, Abraham Lincoln. So, number one, following the best president is not a easy task, that's for sure. And also, this was after the Civil War. So, yeah. Civil War, again, very tough time. Reconstruction as well, very, very tough time. Andrew Johnson, 230 points for him. Franklin Pierce, so the points go up a little bit, actually. 312 for Franklin Pierce. He is tied with the next name we're going to talk about here in a second. But Franklin Pierce had a lot of issues during his presidency and in his personal life as well. A lot of tragedy in his personal life. But his presidency was not good. It definitely had his struggles there as president. Donald Trump. This is first term Donald Trump. He's 41st ranked. 41st ranked on this list. This is first term Donald Trump. Again, when this list comes out again in 2029, he may be lower, he may be higher. Who knows? Again, the list in 2025 will have Joe Biden. I do not know where they're going to rank him. So we'll see what happens there. And again, the 2029 list, we'll see where they rank Donald Trump, adding in his second term there. But he is on this list, the 2021 list, 41st. 40th. This is kind of difficult to kind of rank William Henry Harrison because he didn't do much. He was there for a month and he died in office of pneumonia and probably some other contributing factors to probably typhoid as well. But, yeah, very hard to rank him. So I guess 40th is probably a good spot. It's just really hard to rank him because he didn't do much. John Tyler, also a president that I believe died before his term was up, I believe. John Tyler, he is 39th ranked, 354 points for him. And also William Henry Harrison has 354 points as well, so they're tied. And Donald Trump has 312 points as well, so he's tied with Franklin Pierce. But 39th is John Tyler. 38th is Millard Fillmore, or as I like to call him, Alec Baldwin. If you've seen some of the portraits of Millard Fillmore, he looks exactly like Alec Baldwin. I was telling Ron earlier, if there was ever a Millard Fillmore film, Alec Baldwin would be the first one that the cast and crew would call. Very, very quickly. It would call Alec Baldwin. But anyway, Millard Fillmore, 38th ranked on this list. 37th ranked on the list is Warren G. Harding, and he has 388 points. Millard Fillmore has 378. Warren G. Harding, 388 points on the list. Herbert Hoover, 396 points, 36th on the list. He had a tough presidency due to of course, the Great Depression, and some historians contributing him to what really started it as well. So a lot of historians rank him very lowly because of that. Zachary Taylor is 35th on this list, 449 points. So it's kind of going up a little bit, the points totals here. But Zachary Taylor, 35th on the list, 449 points. Martin Van Buren, also another president that historians don't rank highly economically. He had some issues with the economy under his presidency as well. Martin Van Buren, 455 points, 34th ranked there. Rutherford B. Hayes, 456 points, just slightly better than Martin Van Buren. He's 33rd ranked. Benjamin Harrison, 32nd ranked as well, 462 points there. Richard M. Nixon, he had some issues. Watergate, not good for him. He's 31 ranked on the list here, 464 points. Chester A. Arthur, 472 points, 30th ranked. George W. Bush, 495 points, 29th ranked. I think his second term went a little worse than his first. Well, both terms had some really tough things happen, of course. Nationwide, for sure, for George W. Bush. Second term with Katrina, and the first term with 9/11. Gerald R. Ford, 498 points for him, 28th ranked. James A. Garfield, 506 points, 27th ranked. Jimmy Carter is also tied with James A. Garfield at 506 points. He is 26th ranked. Grover Cleveland, 523 points there with a 25th ranking. Calvin Coolidge, 535 points, 24th ranked. William Howard Taft, 23rd ranked. A lot of historians consider him a better Supreme Court justice than president. But he did pretty well there after that. So 22 ranked, Andrew Jackson. He has some things that he did in his presidency that are controversial. But he is 22nd ranked. It's pretty high up there on the list. There, he was higher on the list before. So he is, as more information comes out about his presidency, his ranking has gone down quite a bit. He was 13th there in the first ranking there in 2000. George H.W. Bush, 585 points. He is 21st ranked. Now we get into the top 20. Ulysses S. Grant, 20th ranked, 590 points. William J. Clinton, 594 points, 19th ranked. James Polk, a president that I was looking for the YouGov, thing to have, but did not have it. That's unfortunate, but 18th ranked. I personally would put James Polk in the top 10. That's my personal opinion on it. I think James Polk is definitely deserving the top 10 spot in my ranking of presidents. But for C-SPAN, he's 18th with 599 points. John Quincy Adams, 603 points, 17th ranked. James Madison is 16th ranked with 604 points. John Adams is in the top 15, 609 points. His ranking kind of up and down as well over the past C-SPAN rankings. William McKinley, 612 points, 14th ranked. Woodrow Wilson is 13th ranked. He was in the top 10, but as more things come out about his presidency, there's been some things that he did in his presidency that honestly aren't that good. But he was in the top 10 for a while for the C-SPAN list, and as of the 2017 rankings, he's now out of the top 10. He's 13th in the 2021 rankings. James Monroe is 12th with 643 points. 11th, 654 points is Lyndon B. Johnson. So C-SPAN ranks Lyndon B. Johnson pretty highly. Barack Obama is in the top 10, 664 points. Ronald Reagan is 9th, 681 points. John F. Kennedy, 699 points, 8th ranked, and his ranking has been pretty steady as well. Thomas Jefferson's also had a steady ranking with C-SPAN. He is 7th, and he's been 7th pretty much the entire way for C-SPAN's lists there. Thomas Jefferson, 704 points for him. Harry S. Truman, 713 points, 6th ranked. And we get to the top 5. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5th ranked on the C-SPAN list. Actually, his ranking has gone up in recent years as well. Theodore Roosevelt is 4th, 785 points. He just stayed in 4th place. Franklin Delano Roosevelt is 3rd, 841 points. George Washington, first president, 851 points. He's stayed in the 2nd spot pretty consistently. In the 2000 ranking, he was 3rd. In the 2000 ranking, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was 2nd, just behind Abraham Lincoln. And, of course, Abraham Lincoln, 897 points. Number 1 in the 2021 rankings. Probably will be number 1 when the 2025 one comes out and when the 2029 one comes out. And the rankings, for quite a while. I think Abraham Lincoln is going to be a very tough president to top. And George Washington, too. I think those two presidents are very, very tough to top. Those are the two names you see on top of a lot of lists. They're on top of my list, for sure. I definitely consider them really good presidents. Really, really good presidents. Legendary presidents, those two. But Abraham Lincoln, number 1 on the list with 897 points. So there's your C-SPAN list. And what are your thoughts? 508-822-1106. What would you put? Who would you put on top of the mountain there as number 1? Who would you put in your top 10? Would James Polk be in your top 10? Give me a call. 508-822-1106 is the number. But I wanted to do that, the C-SPAN presidential ranking, in honor of President's Day. All right, it is 11:23. There we go. 11:23 a.m. And we'll be right back here on Middleboro Matters. What'd you think, Ron?
Better than the other one.
Yep, much better than the other one. If I'm being completely honest, much better than the other one. I mean, UGov is good, but again,
Hey, it killed this segment of the program. That's what I'm
lazy. UGov is being lazy, not adding all of them. I think they should have added all of them. It would have been a better list. I think I think it's too biased too.
Yes, because it deals with the public.
Mm-hmm.
So the public will bring their biases.
Yeah, I think C-SPAN's a little less.
Yes.
As I mentioned at the top, C-SPAN does a very good job staying in the middle. They've always done a very good job staying in the middle.
Don't take a chance. Call 811 before you dig.
Hi, I'm Chris.
So I tend to
News here at WVBF.
kind of cite C-SPAN a little bit more
Amazing program all about Middleboro, Sunday mornings from 7
because it's just, again, you're right in the middle, and
Middleboro in review.
I think that's important.
Sports. He talks about local
All right.
events in Middleboro.
Moving on.
Of interest in Middleboro and beyond. So join them, Middleboro in review with Joey Driscoll.
One more
Sunday morning,
commercial.
7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530 WVBF and at 99.7 FM. WVBF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do.
I think I got my last two presidents on the list mixed up at first. Johnson was after Lincoln. Buchanan was before Lincoln, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Johnson after Lincoln.
Yeah.
Buchanan before.
It's easy to get them mixed up because they were both terrible.
Yes.
Almost equally as so. And it was the Civil War as well, and they kind of sat there and did nothing.
Pretty much.
Okay. 236. News up. Okay. All right, we are back. 11:27 a.m. We're going to do a sports segment in the second half of the program, also a transportation segment. Also, if we have time, a couple of local things as well, local events going on as well. We're going to be very heavy in the local stuff on Friday, for sure. We do not have a guest planned on Friday. We are looking to have. I'm looking to have two guests, hopefully. Or at least one guest for the 27th. But right now, nobody scheduled for the 20th as of right now. So very heavy on the local stuff on Friday. But today I just wanted to do that, C-SPAN presidential list, of course. That took up most of the first half of the program. But I wanted to do it because it is President's Day. And the C-SPAN list, that's a pretty good list. For sure, in my opinion. So we have that. So coming up after the news is our sports segment. But we got a couple of minutes here for some community announcements. There's going to be a free mattress recycling drop-off event at the Taunton Convenience Center. That's at the end of this month. That's on Saturday, February 28th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that is at 330 East Britannia Street. Limit 2 units of mattresses and box springs per household. All sizes are accepted, but the mattresses cannot be excessively wet or have visible mold or bed bugs. Proof of residency is required. No commercial waste or box trucks. Please note that the convenience center will only be open for free mattresses drop off. All other items for recycling should be dropped off on a different date. Any questions, you can call the Department of Public Works, 508-821-1431. The Battle of the Badges is coming up. It'll be coming up on Friday, March the 6th. It's a community event, fun for all ages, at the Middleboro High School gym. You can email Middleboro class of 2027 with any questions. Email Middleboro class of 2027 at gmail.com with any questions. Tickets sold at the door. $5 general admission, $20 VIP seating, which is limited. So better get to that before those sell out there. So I'm sure they will. The Raynham Lions County Breakfast, that's coming up on the first Saturday of each month. First Saturday of March is March the 7th. All money raised, that'll go to the Raynham Lions Building and Maintenance Fund. 8 to 11 a.m. is the time. Location is the Raynham Lions Hall, 2234 King Philip Street, Raynham. Eggs, sausage, pancakes, bacon, juice, coffee, tea will be available. Making me hungry already. For the cost of $10 per person, children 10 and under are free. Pay at the door. More information, you can call Raynham Lions Hall at 508-823-7911. Okay, it is 11:30 a.m. Let's take our news break and we'll be right back here on Middleboro Matters.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. California, just one part of the West that could get some wild weather this week.
The National Weather Service warning of a winter storm for parts of California stretching through the week. Meteorologist Jacob Spender in Sacramento says expect up to 8 feet of snow in higher elevations, a foot in lower lying communities, along with showers and thunderstorms in the valley.
Heed any advisories or any advisories.
Oh, please no
warnings,
more
or anything
snow.
like that, because we are expecting major impacts.
Sick of the
Yes.
snow.
Which
Yes, I
is
think
a
we are.
result from the heavy snow combined with the windy conditions, especially up in the mountains.
The Weather Service also
What's going on with the
warning
Mass
of major
DOT?
travel impacts.
Half winter.
Work at
Anything
24 and
prepared.
140.
This winter storm
Ah.
could also affect parts of
Got
Nevada
it.
and Oregon. I'm Julie
Oh, yeah,
Wall.
that's something that's not new.
We
Okay.
still believe
No,
the
it's not
words of today's
Yeah,
show
all right.
co-host Savannah Guthrie. New video posted to Instagram as the agonizing search for her mother Nancy goes on after more than 2 weeks. Still no signs that the partial government shutdown will be ending anytime soon.
Democrats and the White House appear dug into their positions in the battle over federal immigration efforts. Democrats are demanding changes to how immigration operations are conducted, but President Trump and his team are resistant to several of their demands. The impasse has led to a pause in funding for the Department of Homeland Security, affecting the TSA, FEMA, the Coast Guard, and the Secret Service, among other agencies. Ray Cluxton, Washington.
An oil tanker linked to Venezuela has been seized by the American military in the Indian Ocean. The vessel was tracked from the Caribbean, apparently transporting sanctioned Venezuelan oil. It's said to have departed Venezuela the same day that the U.S. captured dictator Nicolas Maduro. No action on Wall Street today. Financial markets closed for President's Day. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
President Trump's demand that the Europeans spend more on defense seems to be paying off. The British Prime Minister wants to grow the UK's military budget.
The government aims to spend 2.5.
Come on,
Sit
are
tight.
you serious?
Sit tight,
Yep.
it'll come in.
Larry's is a real rags to riches story. His stray cat was adopted in 2011 by Downing Street in the Battersea Dogs and Cats Home to deal with a rodent infestation. His record on that score is a bit mixed. There have been suggestions he hasn't actually caught that many mice in his 15 years in the post, but he's become a much beloved fixture of Downing Street. The journalists who come to the street every day regularly give him treats and wait for him to appear from behind the black dog just so they can get shots of him posing or prowling or generally going about his daily business.
Correspondent Jill Lawless reporting. News and analysis, townhall.com. The idea of taking more than a 2-week vacation from work to recover from burnout or rethink life is slowly gaining favor.
Extended career breaks go by many names, mini sabbaticals, adult gap years, micro retirement.
So I'm thinking, regardless of what happens with Diggs, with this trial. I don't think he's going to be on this team next year anyway. I think he's a cap casualty.
Yeah, it's, look, I think they wanted to have a veteran presence there.
Something
Yeah.
new may not cost
This
as
year.
much as you think.
And
The
I
main
think it's
thing
gonna
is
be,
get your rest and
yeah,
learn how to
I think
recharge.
it could be,
Jason Walker
maybe not.
reporting.
President
Yeah.
Trump
They
says
might
members
try to
of his
give him a
newly
little-
created Board of Peace are pledging $5 billion
a little pay
toward
cut, you might not
rebuilding
accept it.
war-ravaged
Yeah.
Gaza.
So,
More on these stories.
you could be
Karen
right about
Hall.
that. I think Chason, the defender he's out. And,
Unless they tag him. Yeah. Unless they use the franchise tag on him. They might. They might use the franchise tag on him. I'm not sure. Buffer one more time. Okay. 60. Okay. Ooh. And we're back, 11:37 a.m. here. We're switching over to our sports. First off, I want to give everyone a very quick update on what's going on with the women's hockey in the Olympics. The USA women's hockey team is in the semis. They're in the semifinal. They are currently leading early in the second. Currently leading Sweden 1-0. 1-0. So there you go. If USA wins, they go to the gold medal game. So that's going to be a big game for them if they do end up doing that as well. Also, there is some breaking news as well that came out just prior to me going on the air. The Miami Dolphins have released Bradley Chubb, a source confirmed to ESPN. Apparently, that's pretty much signaling that the Miami Dolphins are rebuilding. They are currently now going to be rebuilding, which not surprising. Got a new coach in there now. Yeah, I think next year or two for the Dolphins it's going to be very difficult. They kind of surprised a few people this year. Yes, they were bad, but I thought they would be a lot worse. It surprised me. I thought they would be a lot worse than they actually ended up being. Their record was bad, but it wasn't overly atrociously bad, which I thought was probably going to happen, which it didn't. It didn't. So I got to give them a little bit of credit with that, where that is the case there. But the next couple of years, I don't think they're going to be that as good as this year, for sure. I think they will take a couple steps back, for sure, as they rebuild. Of course, getting rid of Bradley Chubb is not something that is a signal that you're improving. It's a signal that you're going into a rebuild, and that's what Miami is doing here. But yeah, the Patriots, they have an interesting offseason coming. Runner-up of the Super Bowl, of course. They have you probably don't have to worry about hearing about anything on the franchise tag side. Maybe Chason, and that's about it. That would be the most likeliest candidate to get the franchise tag. I just don't think they're going to use a franchise tag this year. Last time they used it was in 2020. 2020. That was the last time they used it. And that was for just a quick little thing here. 2020, that was for Joe Thunney. So 6 years ago. So it's been a while. And they probably won't use it this year. That's for sure. There has been some rumors about some players as well that might be interested in coming here. Of course, you heard about the Max Crosby stuff as well. Max Crosby, I guess, has said in interviews that he wants to play for Mike Vrabel, which would be huge for our defense if Max Crosby came to the New England Patriots. Also, there's been talk, and this is not the first year that there's been talk about this, but there's been talk about A.J. Brown as well. A.J. Brown, and that's another player that has played for Mike Vrabel as well, A.J. Brown. I could see it happening for the right trade. I could see it happening. We'll see. It might not be that likely, but we'll have to see. For the right trade, I could see it happening. Kyle Pitts was another name that was floated around. I doubt it. I think the Falcons will use the franchise tag on Kyle Pitts. I think it would be a very bad thing for the Falcons to lose Kyle Pitts. And I think there's someone in that organization that knows those kind of things pretty well, and that would be Matt Ryan, as the new president of football operations there in Atlanta. I think he's not going to be too keen to get rid of Kyle Pitts if he has any sway and if that happens or not. But that's that would be a pretty big loss for Atlanta. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Kyle Pitts stays in Atlanta via the franchise tag, or they just re-sign him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Patriots, not a lot going on right now because of the offseason. Really not a lot going on in sports this week. Of course, the Bruins are off this week. Celtics are off until Thursday. Celtics take on the Warriors. We'll see what happens there. Bruins take on the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets, are pretty good. So it might be a tough matchup for the Bruins. The Bruins are looking to kind of build on what the first half was. There were some times where they struggled. There were some times where they were good. They have a pretty good record right now. Celtics, they're doing better than some people expected as well. And I think they have the team to go far in the playoffs once again, and especially if Tatum comes back here at some point. And there's some rumors, there's some talk that it could happen in a couple of weeks. There was a game that was pushed to prime time. It was the Celtics versus the Knicks, I believe, coming up in early March. I'm not sure exactly what date it was. I think it was the 6th or the 7th, somewhere around there. But that game with the New York Knicks originally was not a primetime game. But now it is a primetime game. It is going to be nationally televised as well. It was flexed into a nationally televised spot, which probably means Jason Tatum is coming back. And that's probably where he'll come back. Or he'll be on the team by then. He'll be playing by then. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. There's been no, confirmation on Tatum, coming back or anything like that. He is currently in Maine right now, practicing with the Maine Celtics as part of his rehab. So we'll see what happens there. But I do expect him to come back. It's just when is he going to come back? Is it that game that was televised? That was flexed into the televised spot, the nationally televised spot against. I think that was the Knicks. It's against the Knicks in early March. Is that where it's going to happen? Potentially. We'll have to see. So got that. The Red Sox this week are probably the big story. The Red Sox this week are the big story. Friday, they got a game against Northeastern. Then they start Grapefruit League action against the Twins. And as I'm speaking here, I'm looking at the ESPN website here. It's now 2-0 USA women's hockey. So there you go. 2-0 USA women's hockey halfway through the second half. All right, back to the Red Sox. But the Red Sox have 2 games this week, Friday and Saturday. And we'll see what happens with the Red Sox this season. They will be well represented in the World Baseball Classic this year. They have 11 players that will be playing, 2 for the USA, several for Venezuela. So you got a lot of teams who will have Red Sox players out there. Basically, the entire outfield will be playing in the World Baseball Classic. So keep an eye on that as well. That's happening in March. The minor leagues, I like to talk about the minor leagues. The minor leagues do not participate in spring training. So they will not be playing until late March. Of course, you have the Salem Red Sox, who are no longer the Salem Red Sox. They are now the Salem Ridge-Yaks. I had to pause there. Yeah. Ron is looking at me like, what? Yes, that was my reaction when I heard that was the rebrand name. What? Maybe the rebrand goes well. Maybe they win a championship this year. I do doubt it. The Salem Red Sox last year were not good whatsoever. They were one of the worst teams in that level of baseball. So I don't expect them to get any better. We'll see. But yeah, that was certainly a choice with the rebrand there. But I'll give it some time to see what happens. I'll give it some time. So you got that on the single A side. You also have the Greenville Drive. You have the Portland Sea Dogs as well coming back, and the Portland Sea Dogs are doing very, very well. Worcester is very good as well. They had their struggles, but they're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. So the minor leagues don't start until late March. So not a lot to talk about with them, the minor league teams yet. So there you go. There's your sports, pretty much your sports update. Not a lot going on, but there's a couple of interesting things happening. So we're going to take our last commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do transportation. Friday's show will be very heavy on the local stuff. A lot of news stories out of Middleboro we're going to talk about on Friday as well. And I hope to have some guests talking about these local items the following Friday as well. But I'll keep everyone informed on that as well. And of course, our next opportunity to talk to our sports guy, Eric Dunn, will be March the 6th. We'll be talking to him about all things sports, and we'll talk about the Patriots as well, and what he thinks about the offseason and who's going to come in here and who's leaving as well. And we'll talk about the Red Sox, I'm sure, for the first time in quite a while as well. So we will be right back here after this commercial break. All right.
Hi neighbor, Middleboro Gas and Electric would like to share a quick safety tip with you. Many people have been taking on home improvements this year, but have you also upgraded your electrical safety system? Older homes, like so many in our area, have outdated breakers and wiring that may not meet the high-powered needs of modern technology. A licensed electrician knows all the code requirements, including the latest updates adopted just last year. You can find an easy-to-read summary of home upgrades to consider at mged.com.
Okay. 278.
Hi, I'm Chris Keith from Morning Wake Up News here at WVBF. My good friend Joey Driscoll has an amazing program all about Middleboro Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's called Middleboro in Review. He talks about sports. He talks about local events in Middleboro and anything of interest in Middleboro and beyond. So So join him. Middleboro in Review with Joey Driscoll, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530 WVBF and at 99.7 FM.
And we're back here as we finish the program today with some transportation news, some transportation topics. If you want to call in, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. But we have 9 minutes left in the program, and we're going to switch over to our transportation topic. And we'll start with some national stuff, because the remainder of this month and a good portion of March, not going to be a good month for New Jersey Transit when it comes to service, at least. Amtrak and New Jersey Transit major service cuts have begun as of yesterday for the Portal Bridge work. Of course, the Portal Bridge is a major bridge project that's going on to replace the Portal Bridge, the old Portal Bridge there. And there's also other big projects that are happening in that area in New York and things like that. So there's a lot of delays that could be happening over the next couple of years as these projects get done. But the Portal Bridge is probably the closest one to being done. And this closure is going to be something that is going to be needed to finish the first track of the new $2.3 billion Portal North Bridge. The process, known as a cutover, it'll take a month to complete and take a bite out of every rail line schedule, the New Jersey Transit rail schedule, except for the Atlantic City line. And this altogether will see a 53% reduction in rail service to New Jersey Transit. The work to switch one track from the old to the new means New Jersey Transit will cut 178 trains from the 332 train schedule. Amtrak won't be a safety valve because the cutover will affect 280 trains from the March 15th to the February 15th to the March 15th cutover project duration. Starting this weekend and for the next 4 weeks, Amtrak is going to carry out this extraordinary complex job, said Chris Collieri, New Jersey Transit CEO. It will be tough. We are going to go from 48 trains an hour to 18. That is a huge reduction. Huge reduction. During the 30-day period, weekday trains will only have one track to use between Newark and Secaucus, meaning less trains can go to Penn Station. While 7 of New Jersey Transit North and Central Jersey lines will see schedule changes, cancel trains and combined trains, Midtown direct riders will see the biggest disruption with those trains going to and from Hoboken instead of New York. So that's a huge, huge issue there. Information and links to rail schedules are on the New Jersey Transit's cutover website. They have a dedicated website for that. Tuesday will be the first rail test. Commuters will return to work after the President's Day holiday. So tomorrow, we'll see how these things go tomorrow. But 53% of New Jersey Transit's service is going to be disrupted from yesterday until March the 15th. So there you go. Some MBTA news now. MBTA has opened up a long-awaited trail connection to Natick Center Station, a highly anticipated commuter rail to trail connection in Natick Center that opened up on February the 6th, paving the way for commuters, runners, and walkers alike to access the larger Contiguous Rail Trail. The trail is now 3.7 miles long, runs from Framingham's Saxonville neighborhood to the outbound platform of the Natick Center MBTA station. Before the connection, the trail ended by Mechanic Street. Now residents can bike directly to the commuter rail through biking. Although biking on the platform is prohibited, the new section of the trail is equipped with sheltered bike racks, security cameras, and a police call box. The MBTA agreed to fund and pay the final component of the trail after completing its own renovation plans at Natick Station, which they had a ton of plans there for Natick Station and to renovate that. Both the town and the MBTA benefit from the intermodal connection, that was said by Osteroff, who recently he announced his retirement there from the MBTA. A small commuter rail link is part of the nearly $20 million Contiguous Rail Trail project, which has been in the works for the past 20 years. So there you go. Pretty big thing there. One other thing I want to mention here is Natick has more plans for the future of the trail. Plans to improve the trail that includes extending the trail to West Natick and connecting it to the Route 9 and 27 interchange. Additionally, signage and other amenities will be periodically added along the trail. And the Friends of the Natick Trails, they'll host a grand opening for the trail connection later in the spring as well. So there you go, the news out of Natick there. That's that was making the rounds as well in transportation circles. So I wanted to mention that. Something else I want to mention. Something I'll mention. Probably would be on Friday. Is issues with water at Boston South Station when it rains. That tends to be an issue at South Station when it rains. The walkway there is quite wet when it gets rainy like that, and could be an issue. Slippery and things like that. I've had personal experience with that. Didn't fall or anything, but definitely slippery. Definitely slippery for sure. We'll talk about that on Friday. One thing I want to make sure I mention here. We've talked about this before, but this continues to be an issue because of the winter and just how cold it's been. Looks like we're finally starting to see a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it stays that way. But the MBTA Hingham Ferry service was canceled again on February 13th, and that's again due to ice in the harbor. We talked about this, I believe it was about a week or two ago, actually. So they're continuing to have issues here. The ferry is experiencing more cancellations and will probably continue to experience it than usual this winter. And that's due to thick ice brought in by the recent snowstorms that we've had. In its place, they had shuttle buses that took passengers from Nantasket Beach to Hull Ferry Terminal starting at 6:30 a.m. The MBTA said as well. And they also had buses leaving Pemberton Point as well as late as 10:30 as well. So it's going to continue. It's not a common thing. As said by David Perry, the MBTA Director of Ferry Operations, it's not common. It's been at least probably 8 or 10 years since we've had ice like this. So yeah, the ice is an issue for sure, and it is causing issues there on the ferry services. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that again because that continues to be an issue, will continue to be an issue over the next couple of weeks, probably, as we hopefully slowly get out of this cold weather spell that we've been having since December. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's program. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'll be back on Friday for another edition of Hometown Talk. Until then, have a great week, everybody.
Actually, so they're continuing to have issues here. Ferry is experiencing more cancellations, and we'll probably continue to experience it than usual this winter. And this is due to thick ice brought in by the recent snowstorms that we've had.